Ahead with Visier's People Data Platform and its purpose-built data model that lets you join data across products and data sources so you can realize the value of your data faster, with expertly curated metrics answering the most critical questions about people and business today. In this video, you will learn about Visier's data model, understand its multiple layers from objects to concepts, metrics, and analytical content. You will also learn about what kind of data you can send and where to find Visier's data dictionaries. What is an analytics data model? An analytic model is a system through which you can create meaning from raw data. The purpose of the analytic model is to simplify and organize your data, which then generates all the elements you need to do your work, whether it's constructing charts and dashboards or delivering reports, and even powering AI features or building an application. The Visier data model will help you innovate faster. Visier's data model is its strongest differentiator. It's purpose-built to serve the human capital management space. Built over the past 14 years, it has connected the categories of data common among HR technology and continues to expand. Not only does Visier enhance the data model with its expanding expertise in the human capital management space, but the model is flexible, available to be extended by our partners to serve additional use cases. The Visier data model blueprint includes over 2,000 metrics, entities that cover the entire employee journey. It saves any people analytics builder months of work with a great starting point and allows them to provide wide analytics to their customers very quickly and go deeper over time when asked to. Also, that model comes with the platform. No database schema across multiple database environments to maintain. On top of the data model, we have created insights and applications. Think of it as a library of content with insights that cover the entire employee lifecycle, from pre-hire to retire. And so our embedded partners have the ability to pick and choose from the domain most relevant to them and embed it into their applications, while still remaining configurable enough to be tailored to your specific customer personas. We've thought about every question that your specific personas need to answer, and we've worked backwards to create the model and analytics content. The management of all the key concepts come with an interface from which product and engineering can co-manage the implementation and change management of your data-powered products. It's called Visier Studio. From the studio, you can administer a copy of the Visier blueprint and make it your own. The data model, the metrics it powers, and the content are managed through the tenant hierarchy. The root tenant is the Visier blueprint, and each partner gains access to their own administrating tenant, and your administrating tenant inherits everything from Visier: metric definitions, content, and the data model. From there, a partner can change and create new things, extend the model, edit or create new metrics, change display names, and design and curate the presentation of content to best deliver value to your customers with their use cases in mind. In Visier's analytic model, your data is connected to objects. Visier objects are the items that contain your data and make it meaningful. For example, your employee data like employee ID, gender, and start dates are connected to a Visier object called employee. The combination of your data and objects in Visier make your data more comprehensible and consumable. Analytic objects are table-like items in Visier that contain specific data. These objects represent what you want to analyze or aggregate data for, like applicants, employees, pay change events, interviews, and even employee skills. Analytic objects are organized into categories: subjects, events, overlays, and internal comparison. Subjects are the foundation of Visier's analytic model. Everything that you can do with Visier's analytic model platform relies on the subjects in your Visier solution. Whether you're analyzing performance, turnover, or drivers of resignation, you're doing aggregations, visual analysis, and data generation around the employee's subjects. Over time, the attributes related to a subject might change. For example, an attribute like a job name might change every time an employee experiences a promotion or move within the organization. Because the subject's attributes change, you can analyze the subject over time to determine its history, present, and potential futures. After you have a subject to work with, you can start to add detailed data to that subject to build out the rest of the analytics model. There are two objects in Visier that are vital to making subjects meaningful: properties and events. Properties and events contain detailed data about subjects. Events are analytic objects that describe something that happened to a record at a particular instance in time. Events do not occur over time. In our example of Brooke Davis, some events could be employment start date, pay change event. You can use events to analyze instance-based data, like employee exits. Properties are attributes of analytic objects and describe values related to a specific record in an object. Let's take the example of an employee again. You can add details to employee with properties like employee ID, full name, or gender. Now that we have a subject along with its events and properties, you can develop that into a meaningful analysis or aggregate data with dimensions and concepts. Dimensions are attributes that classify data and differentiate one data record from another, such as the who, when, where, and what of the data. Using loaded data in Visier, you can group subject members by specific values in their data. For example, the location dimension groups employees based on where they live. Location dimensions group employees based on where they live. A column in the employee profile is mapped to the location dimension, and the loaded values populate the dimension member. For the location dimension, its dimension members are the location where your employees live, like North America, Canada, Vancouver, and Toronto. In Visier, you can then analyze employees by location to gain insight into your workforce. Concepts are attributes that allow grouping and categorization. Concepts standardize information in your data by dividing the data into subsets and are not populated within unique data, but instead use dimension and property data to reclassify data into new categorizations. For example, your employee data might not include something like generation, but the Gen X concept will find all employees whose birth date data fits into the definition of Gen X. Other examples of concepts are employee movement, the subset of employees that moved in, out, or within the organization; applicant process, the subset of applicants that are in which stage of the job application process; and first year, the subset of employees that have been with the company for less than 1 year. Concepts are useful for data analysis by acting as filters for your data. In Visier, metrics calculate a business concern that can be quantified as a number. Metric formulas perform calculations on analytic objects and their attributes, like properties, dimensions, and concepts, and always contain an aggregation function like sum or average. It takes time to build a data model. In a world where you might acquire products, need to replatform, or catch up on tech debt, keeping up a data model and all its levels can be a challenge. Visier can meet you where you are and fast track you to delivering data-powered features your customers need and value. So what kind of data can you send? We think about data in 4 categories. The first is transactional data. For example, data that communicates things like which employees are working at a company, what learning courses were taken, when did an employee start or exit. Transactional data is what Visier needs from its partners. Once transactional data is available to the platform, Visier will take care creating the other types of data, calculated data and aggregating data. Examples of calculated data might be someone's age, a birth date minus the current date. Visier will take care of aggregation. For example, what is the average age across a given population? As a result, partners no longer need to spend the time and resources on the effort required to create these data types. The main point to take away here is that your effort is primarily getting Visier access to transactional data, and Visier can do the rest. We ask for a flattened view of that data to reduce the need to denormalize data from your systems. You can send Visier all kinds of data related to people. To understand what data you have that can make use of the Visier data model, check out our data dictionaries. Visier provides data dictionaries that describe the common data attributes that exist for each product in the HR technology space. Check out learning for common learning data properties, or talent acquisition for common hiring data properties, or employee record data, common in HRIS systems. Go to docs.visier.com/developer/studio/data/data dictionaries to find the dictionaries. To read more about the Visier People Data Platform and its purpose-built data model, go to visier.com/developers. Look for the embedded link at the bottom of the page.